FPX will be mounting the attack side after an incredible comeback into the previous map. FPX have got to be riding high on momentum, but KRU, they've got a big mental reset ahead of them. That has got to be crushing what they just experienced. They're going to start this one off with the orb in towards Showers, but a heavy contest from Angel.
Yeah, we've seen this a few times where Nags more recently has moved off of playing this chamber. It's just pushing all the way down, but Zipan more than prepared for his counter raise to get aggressive, ready and waiting for these pushes. But I think we've seen Zenid do something like this in the past, just be able to almost slow behind that operator when he gets on the defensive side and gives them more opportunities when it comes to the attack than Chamber would, like being able to set yourselves up in afterplants. I'll be interested to see how it works for him, because he is someone, I think in the previous tournament, who came in just playing Chamber and nothing else.
It's pushed down middle from KRU. It's a decent adaptation. They've lost so much control information, so they try to recover, but try is the key word. They're getting absolutely torn to shreds and having to leave this sprint back towards the site, but Angel's already there. He's waiting for them, and now they know this player has to be in the orb.
Maybe there's some sort of miracle. It's now up to Mazzino, and he gets nothing done as well. Nice round from Angel, but more importantly, just patient stuff from FPX. And I think that's something that they're going to come to expect within this series, is that KRU like to get aggressive. KRU like to take fights, especially Kesnet. So to shut him down so early in the pistol round and get off to a strong start as they have in the previous as well, I'm already starting to get a little bit worried, because I do think KRU really need that momentum reset.
They absolutely do. Look, we've already seen the last 20 rounds or so. You saw it even from the watch party over in Argentina that, well, the mood was certainly low. The energy was high, but I mean, it was people screaming no. It's like, it was devastating. And on the KRU side, I imagine it's much the same. Now, these guys come in here with pistols, practically nothing to play with, and FPX should be able to take this control very easily. In fact, I do like that they've spread out right at the start. They used the Prowler to clear out Bathroom, guaranteeing the orb, and they've been holding B long this entire time to make sure the KRU don't get anything for free here.
Yeah, they might even go back and get the orb on the other side. The thing is as well, I think you have to know when you're playing up against KRU, they love a gamble stack. They love a gamble in general. Like, just actually going for these over-rotations at times based off very small pieces of information. So they've thrown the Prowlers in on one side of the map, maybe hoping that they will fall back. But the fact is, though, well, this might actually give them all the information they need.
Did they see 2 or 3? That's the question. If it was 3 going forward is brave, but now they found a kill. Yeah. That's why it was just utility that was going in, and now they're stalling it out. Spotting one up inside of Hookah, though, is going to keep KRU in position. You see the rotate from Kesnet. That's at least 3 players towards this side of the map, but they are picking them apart one at a time. KRU want to use their numbers on the site to their advantage, but every duel is a 1v1. Still, good damage. He's gotten out of there. I mean, that was a pretty damn good attempt with the shorty.
Yeah, you could see Klaus, his decision was to almost just take Showers control, just in case there was a rotation back. Maybe he could catch someone off guard, but it does mean he was incredibly far away when they did actually commit to the site. Again, even just 1 extra kill won't be enough with the way that they actually play these bonus rounds. And you see the 3 rifles still standing for FPX. Likelihood is they may get a couple more.
Yeah, we've seen it again and again, right? That previous map, both teams did it in this position. FPX's starting lineup has never lost a series on LAN. There you go. Of course, didn't get to play too many series with the starting lineup on LAN, but I respect it.
I think, yeah, before he played, didn't they get sent into the lower bracket? So if they had, they wouldn't have won. If they had lost a series, we wouldn't have been as excited about them being here as before. But yeah, that is true. That is true. We'll see. Maybe that will change throughout this tournament, although I do think within, of all the groups that we've seen, I think within this group they are the heaviest of favorites.
Well, I mean, they won the previous event. I think that it goes without saying almost.
But I think, like, for example, if they were in a group with maybe like Loud, who have at least been there before, I could make arguments to say that it was a little bit closer, whereas the last time any of the teams within their group achieved anything, it was KRU at the Last Champion. So
yeah,
everybody else is quite far behind within this group in terms of success.
Coming to round number 3, the rifles for FPX have definitely been spotted over on KRU's side. I mean, they know what they're up against. They do this themselves. But they don't quite know where FPX are going. These players are grouped up on A, looking to pop this execute over. One player for bathroom, everybody else making their way through middle. The reveal should let them see through those smokes behind the boxes and confirm some information on where the players are. But that snake bite down inside the orbit, it slows them somewhat. Sagetsu up and over, and now looking to get a little bit more aggressive, moving into lamps, taking a ton of control with the nade that was down. They're seizing it off just on their utility. The trades are actually fantastic as they swing into show! What? 3 headshots with the Guardian! They don't know where the last man is, but they've seen there's no one in spawn. Maybe he's Heaven. Other than that, though, failing the Heaven play, this man is behind, and they know that. They'll plant safely and look to find out later.
10 seconds left.
They've taken such deep control, and Nags just has no idea where these players will have moved to. He can make an educated guess, but they're actually going to push around the edge of their own smoke with such an open plant as well. It's going to be very difficult for him to try and isolate these jewels, and you can already see information garnered on the other side. They're just going to play this crossfire and almost wait for him to go back and try and attempt the defuse. He is watching for Heaven. You get it halfway, in fact, just waiting for anybody to try and peek him. The first going down, maybe expecting the other to be a little bit further away. And now he's going to wait for the peek. Nax actually pulls it off. I thought they had him dead to rights, but fair play. He's going to get the Red Bull clutch and pull off the 1v2.
In the position that they find themselves in there, you know, winning round 3, it's often something that's expected of you, but like we said, up against the buy that FBX brought to bear, it is absolutely not a guarantee. It's not something, I mean, getting out of there with minimal damage isn't the objective. Winning is the problem.
Enemy remaining.
Like that third shot, the other two were nice. The third one was
that's the thing.
Ridiculous.
Is there even any value of Xiao buying a Vandal at this point?
Oh, why bother?
Like, what's the point? Just save the credits, pull in the Guardian every round and do stuff like that?
Just headshot. It's easy. Why would you shoot them anywhere other than the head, Tom?
Well, that's the thing. Even with the victory, KRU are actually not fully purchasing into this round. Realizing that the finances are still in a pretty poor spot if they were to risk it and basically be up against a reset. You've also got the showstopper on Zipan, who died at the very beginning of the last round, likely to try and throw it in. We're now going to see the Stinger buy again, and I haven't been massively impressed other than when it was used by Leviathan. It hasn't worked for KRU yet.
Yeah, I think they'll probably be sat there telling themselves that it's to do with the map, the previous map that was in it. Icebox, it's not as easy to make those plays happen on. You can see it here, and already some shorty kills that have come through. But like you said, that round win, you know, because that was ultimately, and it sounds so ridiculous, but that was the bonus round of FPX that they came into with a full buy. So then you come into this one, FPX still full buying, but you lost 4 players. The KRU, they're devastated. And they're being baited into rotating onto beef with 4 players. Of course, you're much more willing to stack in a round like this where you've got weaker weapons and leave your rifle on the A site. The thing is, Nags is about to have a tough fight. Player coming in through spawn might just spot him. Oh, okay. Good timing for him and a solid connection. That gives them at least bathroom to hold on to for a while.
Yeah, there's still an opportunity to rotate back through the TP, but they're going to try and put pressure onto him instead. Basically allowing them to get into an after-plant position, but still, in terms of player advantage, there's a good chance. You're going to see the rotation coming through from behind when it comes to Ardis. It's just whether the time is even there or if he's even needed. Zipan's just going to shut it down alongside Saigetsu, and they know exactly, well, maybe not exactly, they know roughly
where he is.
They know roughly where the last man is going to be.
Shoot him through the wall.
They knew he was in showers.
They've got him pinned.
Just not where in showers. And more Ardis, eventually his flank will come through. I'm not sure it was the difference maker in the round, but FPX, more importantly, they beat the Stinger by again.
I mean, Ardis was like a traveling merchant that round. He was on the other side of the world. B long, as he just shifted up. Literally, as he broke through the B long arches, they were planted. Like, and then he shift walked most of the way back. It was impressive that he took that long. But again, the discipline of the players on the site to allow him to make that play all the way through and not overextend. And I think FPX are fantastic at that. When they set themselves up to do something, they don't often throw the advantages they've built away. KRU are learning that piece by piece. 3-1. We see the buy come out for KRU though. Angel sneaking right past that. They have left the control. They're not going to stick around all too long. And of course, Angel was just here in case they go for the orb and he can take him down real quick on the back of that flash, but it never comes through.
Zipan actually just going to try and dry peek this one. he's not been spotted. In fact, Saigetsu's getting relatively far forward as well. They're both just almost swinging in. The space has been given up, and eventually the contact will be made. But they've got so far into the site, and all the other 3 players are actually just sort of cornered in the back lines.
Plan's coming through for 3, and here's a showstopper!
Oh, no.
Massive value found, put right between the 2 of them, but Klaus,
okay.
He's not happy with how this one's going. He wants to rewrite the ending. Some teammates coming to help. The Seekers on the way, spamming through to try and get the kill. And the res to Kesnet gives them the numbers. Now the Viper's Pit comes into play. They should be able to close in on the site, use that as cover to get this plant on down. A showstopper doesn't find anything. KRU are putting it all on the line here. They want this win. There's only 2 players left to find, and now they know where both of them are. But they still need to take them down and get the defuse, and they'll do just that. Time close, but I don't think it's close enough.
It was getting there. It was definitely getting there, but no, it is going to be KRU managing to actually bring home another round. And that's the thing. It's like a lot of that came down to Klaus. Like the initial kills coming through for Zipan, getting that double opener. I'm not really sure what the plan was either from the side of KRU. Like just all 3 players stuck towards that back corner, almost just being forced out position. Maybe wary of the orbital strike being utilized somewhere along the line, but even still, definitely was risky to just all play in the same spot. Now, though, we are going to see that purchase back in, although Xiao and Saigetsu both ending up on pistols. And on the other side, we've still got a Spectre, so neither side really in a comfortable position here, although I guess if Zipan's just going to keep hitting shots like that, it really doesn't matter.
Well, that's the thing, right? You can have all your plans, but oh, okay, that push a little early. The flash hadn't popped, and when it did, okay, that's a nasty recovery by Zipan. The fact that they're able to find those kills on long, shut down half the push, cut that in half, and then still you get Zipan dive in, grab himself the kill from behind, and now, well, ooh, they pass the weapon over. They've gotten it into the hands of Saigetsu. What a good teammate. We got 3 players looking to come through spawn, and Tom, they're all coming from exactly the same angle, the same doorway, in fact.
Worked last time.
It did. This might be a bit of a different scenario, though. Look at the crossfire in play. The swing is caught. Great peek by Klaus. He's holding it the entire time. And with the wall up,
no.
This should be easy. They've got the cover to stop him breaking it. They can just defuse.
It just seems like for KRU, firstly, you have someone like Nags who's just going to take those entries back into the site, which has been working out wonderfully for them. But also, again, it's just the synergy of the players. Like I think that's something they actually do better than most teams within the tournament. It's also some of the other aspects of their gameplay that maybe don't work out, like some of the strats aren't quite there, or if things go wrong, sometimes they struggle. But when it comes to raw synergy, you can just see the instant response from any player when there's a peak ready to try and catch people out. So solid stuff from them. Great retake once again, back-to-back rounds, and more now. 3-3. We're going to see again an investment coming up for FPX.
Oh, an immediate push from KRU! Kesnet is just destroying them in some of these fights. I mean, that early initial fight, cool, but the fact that he wallbangs and then wallbangs through a wall as well.
Just nuts. He's just nuts. Okay, I think Klaus fell asleep.
That was silly. He had his knife out. He's just fiddling around. I can't process that, but okay. Angel sat inside of Hookah. Saigetsu's, I guess, selling a fake here, but it's not necessarily working. I mean, Mizzino still sat on long. KRU are probably a little confused as to what happened this round. Asking Kesnet what button he's flicked, what USB he's plugged in.
Oh, it's actually missed the shot. Mizzino looking like he had the freebie kill onto Angel. This is a battle I don't really feel like he needs to be taking. It's a 1v4. You don't want to give Angel any of these duels, but hey, Mizzino is just playing with utmost confidence, and I guess that is the KRU way.
It is. It absolutely is. And do you know what? It's needed. A round like this speaks volumes about where KRU are at. You think back to the DRX game we covered the other day when they went for that crazy OT push down mid. Those sort of plays show that you have just got the deepest mental game going in your way. That you're not going to be sat there feeling defeated and turtling. Instead, you're going to actually commit to these rounds, to the aggression when it's needed. And in a round like that from Kesnet, now, look, is it plannable? Is it repeatable? No. But,
okay. Plannable,
should not be.
plannable, I'll say no.
Yes.
Is it repeatable, Kesnet? Maybe.
Probably. Probably, based on what we're seeing here.
After what is it, 6 international tournaments? It's probably going to happen again. I think we've seen enough from this man at this stage that we can take a decent bet that he is going to have some BS rounds like that. But that's the thing. That's why this crew team are always such a joy to watch, is you do have players like Kesnet, like Mazzino, like Nags when he's in form that just do things that don't necessarily make sense. And FPX, I think they're looking to almost quell that a little bit with this pause. Slow things down. Okay, we've just been bullied by a guy running down B short. Let's maybe let them cool off a bit and we'll get back into things. Because Zipan has actually been doing some similar things. Like it does seem almost like a raised brawl over the last few rounds of who's going to do the most damage. Because I won't say, like, in some of the executions there's been a lot of setup for Zipan, but a lot of the opening kills he's got have just been him taking a fight.
Or having to recover on, like, if you think about not the previous round, the one before when they went towards B, you had this spot where 2 players come running out along, Angel's first, he goes through the wall, then the flash pops behind him as he's dying, and then his teammate comes through on the back of the flash and dies because the guy that was backside playing anti-flash now swings because, well, he's heard the flash pop. So it's like a ridiculous round, and all it took was like a quarter of a second of timing difference, and that round could have played out differently. Zipan then had to blast back into sight and make a crazy play. You can't expect someone to do that every time, and even still, he's been delivering. FPX had some struggles in early rounds. I appreciate the timeout. I think it was the right time to do that and reset yourselves. I'm sure Doombros was seeing a lot of those issues as well.
The thing as well with this round is financially, it's not great. Like, you don't have anything in terms of weaponry, but you do have 4 ultimates and a 5th not that far away. So if this gets into a position where they believe they can do some damage and take this over, we might see them invested.
We could do, but I think that advantage has to be pretty significant before anything's really going to be put on the line. They've even gotten an orbital strike out of the defensive side. Considering the round that's in it, I'd almost consider that to be a success. A very powerful ultimate taken out of their hands, but a round put into it. The crew make it to 5.
The way Nags is playing Sage is actually really interesting because most of his walls are I'll call them selfish walls. Like, okay, I need to defuse, I'm going to put this wall down. Or, I fancy getting an orb, I'm going to put this wall down. This wall, I don't think is something you're ever going to see in a normal game of VALORANT as something that is planned by the team, but he just goes, okay, I'm getting pushed. I'm going to put this wall down long ways and just keep peeking around it as if it's a wall that was there the whole time. It's peculiar, but it is working for him. He's currently top of the board.
No, he's making his own cover. And that's something that, we'll often use Sage walls to create extra angles or to take some away. But I think the idea of using it as kind of mobile cover is just fantastic. This Viper's Pit, well, this presents a massive problem for FPX. Getting rid of this will be tough. And when you take a look at the composition they're running, you have Prowlers to try and root her out. You have the nades, you have the boom bot. I mean, there's a ton that can go their way. But nothing quite reaches the level of a Sova drone for clearing out these Viper's pits, The other gives you information, but...
Oh, it's so nasty. It's so nasty. The funny thing as well is if you watch FPX on Haven, they do the exact same thing. Like, you will see that come through for Saigetsu, where he leaves gaps in his own walls to play angles off of. And Nags, that's the thing. I said that about the bonus rounds they were doing. That's an FPX strat. What he has just done there is also an FPX strat that he's just using against him. It's nasty, but I love it.
It's nothing worse than being beaten at your own game. Bind. FPX's map pick. Off to a good start here in round number 9 for Crew. They look to build up to 6.
30 seconds left.
Take stock of what they have. The Viper's Pit obviously up and online towards A. That's allowing a much heavier stack on the B side with 3 players here. No utility, but that nade goes in. It's on top of him. Molly, and he's through. Zipan has made these pushes happen before. This time Delzic's wise to it, but he loses his life through the wall. 10 seconds left. They've got to get on the site and plant this spike here and now. Zeno not able to stop it, and the other player a little bit too far away. I don't think he has any sort of chance, and now it has to just be the kill that Xiao ends up on top of. Again, Xiao picks up a round for FPX.
Yeah, I feel like if you're, like, the coach on the other side of Crew, like, you just sit there and you go, you know what? Let's just cross that one out. Like, there was nothing we could do about that one, because the first kill he gets is just a wall bang onto the tube. Like, it's just, oh, Zipan died about here, so I will spam there because we've also got the trail, and then he just slams him into the ground. Yeah. Just like, what do you even do about that? There's nothing you can do. And then just the swing after swing of Xiao just pulling them through that round. 5-4, still weaponry in. And this is more of what I was expecting. Nags is now going to invest into the operator. Oh,
Angel with a kill through. Oh, come on!
Okay. Right.
Buy round, by the way.
Yeah, the classic, you know, there's a smoke, so I'm going to spam it twice with a vandal.
Yep. Yep. I've seen that one many times before.
Yeah, it's a
Normal strat.
all planned.
Wow, I mean, you come into this round and try to bounce back, and that's what you're met with immediately.
Oh, what's the plan here? I think he was hoping that maybe somebody would get caught. What are these kills? Every single one of them straight BS. Mazzino, those actually made this a little bit more interesting. He's going to fall back, utilize the Tiger. They know where he is at least, and he's just got himself his third. Somehow this is now starting to look possible. He even peeks in and takes out one more, leaving it all down to Nags. A chance to try and get something done. Zipan Lobosai gets to instantaneously gets him out. Somehow that was much closer than expected after the first 3 kills, which I don't want to see again.
I know we're going to though, Tom, and I think you need to realize and accept that real quick. Crew,
Yeah, take a timeout. Give them more time to show those replays.
What are you even going to talk about here in context rather of the previous round? Let's not stand behind smokes. Like you can't I don't know what else you can
Let's
do.
hide behind concrete walls
Yeah.
at all times.
If where you are is wall bangable, run.
Let's not take fights where Zipan can jump into an angle and spray me while jumping.
It's like those 3 initial fights, there is nothing they can do. They did nothing wrong. If anything, I think they did everything right. They went for the normal control in towards bathroom. The smoke was down. It looked like they should be able to wall it and get an orb and get out of there.
Por venirse a unos copados, en serio.
okay.
Les quiero contar
See,
una
how
historia
far
de
do
cuando
those
yo era
cannons
chico.
shoot? Because I would really like one of these shirts, but I think trying to get it from Argentina all the way to Turkey might be a little bit ambitious.
I love the ambition of people standing in the front line as well, like, because he's obviously going to fire it up into the air, right? He's
Unless
not
he
just
doesn't
gonna
like
aim
you.
it straight at you, just like, hey, you want a t-shirt?
Maybe they're just really confident how
you
high
seen-
they can jump.
In one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Maybe
you know?
they're delusional about
A
how
chap
tall
that-
they are.
A chap that looks like you, about the same height, and he jumps up with a gun and he shoots
Yeah.
and goes flying back down.
Handsome man.
Yeah, lovely chap.
Great
Well,
teeth. Must be British.
Yeah, the Pirates typically do have great teeth. That's what they say.
Hey, in Britain, he would be in the top 1% of teeth.
Oh, I'll give you that. Don't know how we've gotten here. 5-5. Round number 11 as we're neck and neck. We know that Crew were feeling a little bit of stress, a little bit of pressure after the previous, but now 2 rounds left to play with, and if they want an advantage coming into next half, it's here and now that they've got to claim it. Nags, he's up on top of his wall, blocking them off, and he has actually deterred them from continuing this aggression. That's great information for Crew, but FPX seem content to pick up the pace here. The entire team is now rotated in towards this A site, and they'll be up against 3 on the way through.
Flash alongside the Horn. The counter utils there from Kesner, so they can't really push off of this. Although I say that, the players through mid have just run through. Nightfall already in, and a nice shot from Zipan to start. But again, the trades are there.
Spike down A.
Fantastic frag coming through from Artis. He has the spike with him and the ability to TP here, especially as they're being hunted down by these Seekers. Found another kill, leaving just these final 2. The players' positions are well known. And it looks like they tried to feign the rotate, but Crew are, well, they're very much ready for it. With a retake wall down on B, they can feel pretty comfortable if they do have to go back there. And obviously
30
they've left
seconds left.
Kesnet to rotate around and just hold on to that control. Especially with him tucked in on long. FPX have no way of knowing this, but with 20 seconds left, they're running into a stack. That angle's being held by Nags. They've got nothing to help them get over here.
Last player standing.
It's not going to work out. Mazzino over the last couple of rounds has really started to come online as well. They had a bit of a slow start. You see the 3K come through in the
Last
round. They
round
actually
in the
lost,
half.
and now he's moved himself right up on the board again. Looking fairly even within the server. Maybe, again, a slightly slower start for Artis, but we've already seen that he can turn things around no trouble. But again, I do think that Angel was spamming the smoke again, so I think he could just see the traces and shot back. But even still, to do that with a Spectre is a little bit ridiculous. And in terms of the purchase, I'm really not liking the fact that I'm seeing Zipan with a Stinger. I'm guessing he's just going to try and blast back straight into lamps.
Well, he has the spike right now, so I'd rather him give that to someone else first, if that's a choice. They're making their way in, and he's gone. Spike in hand. He's in lamps, and he's got a kill with the stinger. That's disgraceful, disgusting. FPX on the site, but they're still given the option to go back. This TP is not being used. It feels like neither of these teams are fans of changing their mind. When they commit to a site, they commit.
The thing is as well, Nags again being able to hold on to that Shower's control, and the rest of his teammates almost just trying to make a distraction while he goes for this push. Timing almost perfect, but what? How does Shao still manage to get that kill? He's given them an opportunity. He will eventually go down now. Is left on to Zipan, and he can't finish things off. In fact, there's the utility of Kesnet that grants them an advantage going into that second half, 7-5.
A lead of 2 rounds now. The crew have finished their defensive side here on Bind. The attack could be where the real challenge is. 7 is a solid score. It's a lead, secure, but is it enough? Analyst desk.
Oh man, well, you know, I mean, what we thought 9-3 was. So, I mean, I guess, hey, anything is possible here, Mitch. Welcome back, everyone, for the halftime. Golden here along with Mimi and Achilleos. Breaking this down, though, and I think starting off at the top, you got to highlight the raises here. Both teams have been masterful with their raises. The performance has been unreal. Zipan, you know, on the raise, and then Kesnet for crew. Unreal stuff that we're seeing out of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Zipan has just been incredible. The entries that we've been seeing from him, like sometimes, yeah, he's going to die, but he gets positional reveals of the enemy, and then the rest of the team is able to go in and flush them out.
Yeah, it's been absolutely crazy from both these guys. And I think a lot of the kind of executes have boiled down to Zipan getting that initial space. FPX in this game have had this idea of we're going to stay super execute heavy, we're going to get Zipan into the site, and kind of set up off of that. But I thought Crew actually did a really good job of countering and shutting that down. There was a few rounds in particular in which they're able to make that pivot and deny. This was one such example. Obviously, it starts really nicely for Crew with that setup by Nags, but here you go. Zipan double satchel into the site and immediately gets shut down by Delzik. I think overall, Crew did a really good job on these shutdowns, and now as we look towards the second half of play, it kind of comes down to the other side, the onus on the raise of Kesnet to find that space, find these sites for Crew.
You know what I'm wondering as well, though, Mimi, like, something that Mitch said, it's like when they go for the execute, they hard commit, they go for it. But like, we know both of these teams can mid-round. We know both of these teams can pivot on plans. But it really seems like they're trying to hammer these strats home even when it doesn't go well for them. Perhaps that could be something that they pivot to in this next half?
Yeah, I'm hoping that Crew does slow things down, lead a little bit more into the mid-round.
Yeah, I mean, for FPX, I think it's just about tightening up. Right now, we're seeing Artis have a pretty slow start, much like we saw from him on Icebox. If he can come back into the defender side and have a much more firm grasp of this map, he may be able to just alone turn the tide of this.
Yeah, well, let's see if that ends up happening. Of course, the matchup about to start off here. The half, let's see what ends up happening. Let's see if FPX can come back, rather, in this one. Mitch and Tom, over to you.
Well, Tom,
he almost said close it out. I think Golden Boy might think this one's done.
Is he biased?
He doesn't seem like much of a believer, you know.
Get him, Latam!
Oh, okay. Okay, let's calm it down.
Well, here we go. Round number 13, half number 2, FPX down by 2. Crew, they've done well in the first half, and now their attack gets tested. A Molly over right away, the pistol round, Molly lineup. This is a fast play if ever I've seen one. The B site under threat. And it doesn't look like they'll be able to hold on to control of Hookah ultimately. Bailing out of there with a shorty in hand, but Artis is cleaning house. 4 frags for him. And the round goes to FPX, a pistol giving them that injection of rounds right away.
Yeah, I sort of mentioned it going into that last half. The Artist had a bit of a slow game so far. He's just doubled his kills, just like that. Most of it was just spamming in towards the smoke, trying to close them down, even helping out Sagetsu a little bit, who decided to try and jump at someone with a shorty.
Well, that's
ambitious.
Funny. That's funny because Sagetsu made the right call, right? I would have just sat inside Hookah with the shorty, being like, they'll come eventually and I'll shotgun them. But he was like, all right,
that is how you normally
I'm going to make a dumb play, jump out in the open, just bunny hop around, start spraying, and they're going to shoot me, and Artis is going to shoot them. And it worked. Tag him up a little bit along the way, you know? Gorgeous. If he's not there, I think Artis gets killed almost immediately, or at least traded.
Well, again, Couple of pistols. They've actually gone for Zipan on an SMG this time, but I guess it's just the angle he's going to be playing early, and especially on Bind, there's more viability for those sort of weapons. But again, we're seeing KRU almost just group up to try and hit into this B site.
Oh, that's not the timing we were quite looking for.
Zeno is a shorty as well. If he pushed there, he almost guarantees the kill. A little bit unlucky with the timing.
I do like this. Is something we saw at last event, and more so even the one before. There's this shorty spams down through tight corridors to do a little bit of tickle damage, but it's all it usually amounts to. This time, though, there's going to be lots of pistols here to back it up. Shorty up close, decent damage, 1 kill. Look to find a little bit more now, but of course it is just the Spectre that's down inside of Lamp, so it's not like it helps them that much on these fights. If Xiao went down, that could have been costly.
This man must DM like 18 hours a day. Like, I just don't understand how his first bullet accuracy is as good as it is, and now moving himself further up the board. 7-7 once again. The lead quickly diminished after the second half pistol goes in the direction of FPX. The question will be, what sort of response have we got coming through? No real ults online yet. Xiao alongside Artist are the closest on board. And again, you can see them investing quite heavily back into this round. It's only going to be that SMG of Zipan, and with the angles we've seen in play so far, not really that much of a detriment.
Boombot right away will be revealing that they're taking control over Hookah. But what they wish they knew over on KRU is the push that's coming through on Bathroom. 2 guys pushed up there. They'll attempt to seize an orb. I do wonder whether they put that on Sugetsu or Artis. Normally you'd say Sugetsu, but just because Artis is so close, it might almost make more sense to give it to him. But for now, they're not even pushing up to it. They're waiting back patiently. And actually a rotation to the A site. FPX, they have a read, but it doesn't look like it's the right one. And of course, and it might seem silly if you've never seen these teams play before, you've just tuned in, but FPX are in a bonus round with 4 rifles.
Yeah.
Because that's how they buy.
Even still, though, a fair amount of counter utility already being thrown out. Not a massive amount to play with left, and the patience of KRU has had some success, but no, Klaus now going down. That also removes all of his Viper utility, so any fake on the A site is gone. And the majority of the push should be fairly well known now for FPX.
They've managed to secure themselves the orb on Artis too, just 1 away from his ulti now as the push comes in. KRU, 3 players left. Coming down through long. Angel, well, he's going to be isolated thanks to that smoke, but the distraction of the spam is perfect. A double for the IGL, turning to 3. The spike's down in the open, and the last man on the enemy team has 20 health. This round is not going to the Latin Americans. EMEA will take the lead.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, a problematic scenario as well, because it's the same again, where you're just now going to have FPX with such a huge boost. Ult Cycle also coming online for both the Null Command and the Orbital Strike, which is, again, a terrifying prospect. And all they can really hope to play around in the next round is Kesnet with his rifle. There's not going to be anything else. Again, none of the ults even remotely close.
This becomes complicated. I mean, the patient
the
play
timing
from
is
FPX.
so bad for Klaus. He's literally just running back to go and join up with the rest of his team. And you know as well that he's going to put his Viper screen up on A, so that might actually hold a couple of the players there on rotations.
FPX in the lead and KRU down to a weak buy.
Stingers again.
Well, Kesnet's got his rifle at least. So hopefully that can lead the charge. Xiao is under a little bit of pressure here, having to fall back completely. A molly through. Seekers, they're burning up a ton of, well, burning up Kesnet. Apparently that rifle's recovered, and they know that that's a coveted weapon. It's coming at a cost, though, trying to cancel it out. Nazino is claiming scalps. And look at the lurk in mid. Klaus, he's missed! Now the rifle's coming back. Artis will be shut down, though. A 1 versus 3 in the end for Sugetsu. And this could be the round for KRU at last.
It's a tough one, and he's already been spotted out. The information with rifles picked up as well. Just trying to hold on to pretty much a perfect crossfire. Not really giving any space for him to try and actually turn this back around. Now, the snake bite might do something, but never mind. Mazino, a fantastic round from him. And the fact is, it was almost just the martyr of Kesnet giving him that rifle that ends up winning them the round.
Yeah, it's definitely an unfortunate start for good old Kesnet, getting wrecked like that. but the fact that Mazzino was able to recover it and hold on strong. Like I said, FPX were swinging through to try and punish them again and again, but it didn't work out. Overextending perhaps, the blinkers went on and they tunnel visioned. That leads to another tied scoreline. We just saw the stat pop up there. KRU never lost bind here on the international stage. And if anyone was to beat them on it, I think it's FPX.
Yeah, it's a map they didn't play much at the previous event. A 14-12 OT versus Guild, so it was definitely a tight one. I believe that was a series they ultimately lost, so FPX definitely a tougher opponent. If you look comparatively, they 13-4'd Guild, so slightly different sides of the scale, but even still, ult-wise, FPX lead, but we haven't actually seen massive impact from the ultimates, I don't think, so far in this game. A lot of it's come down to these individual plays.
Well, part of the double kill with the showstopper earlier on, that was decent. But I agree, even the Viper's pits and so on, they've been shut down. Here come the Seekers, and nothing to be found. Xiao is coming up to support. Orbital strikes on its way, forcing Mazzino into the open, and that's where the spike shall remain! What a spray control from Sagetsu, and a Prime Gaming flawless FPX bounce right back.
It's so weird, these tipsy-turvy rounds where it's just like one is very close, you got a low investment and they manage to steal it. The next round is a flawless coming through as they absolutely slaughter them on the way through. An aggressive stance from Angel, but this interplay between him and Xiao isolating Jules, and then even the snapback from Saigetsu to just decimate them on the way through, and instantly KRU are going to call themselves a pause. Take a moment.
I can hear Angel's tone. I don't know what he's saying, but just by his face, you know, in some of those rounds, he's like, we shouldn't have gotten away with that one. Like, you can't just spray him down like that, buddy.
Why on the rest of the rounds like that?
We do that every time, guys. Well, 9-8, KRU call a timeout, burning up their second. That means their last. They'll ride out the rest of this game, whatever remaining rounds there are, before someone hits 13 or we hit an OT. There'll be no more pauses. Not on that side, at least.
if FPX hit 13, that will be a long pause for KRU as they have to wait for the next game.
A 5-month pause? No, it'd be a few weeks, a few days even. What am I talking about?
How long do you think this tournament is?
I wish it was a year long.
A year long? Okay. Well,
no, we could do this every day.
No, I need a break from it.
What do you mean? Well, after this event, you're literally spending a week with me.
Yeah,
by choice.
I'm already regretting that.
You invited me. I'm gonna sail us on a boat safely.
Yeah, and that will be the end. I'm just saying that.
This is our last cast.
Is very dangerous.
Dude, I'm telling you, those other boats moved out of our way. We didn't get hit. I don't know what the problem is.
The bridge didn't.
Well, you know, it didn't do that much damage. So, as I told the lady, I had played Sea of Thieves, and that carried us through it.
Well, here we go. Fast-paced move already. Kesnet looking to try and lead the charge. He's actually got quite a bit further than maybe they will have expected. The rest of the team still trapped back. He needs to try and find some sort of opener here. And in fact, so many ults being committed from FPX, they don't want to give them a chance back in. Saigetsu just spams as they try and make a move, and he's managed to take down a couple. Xiao with one more. This is looking like another slaughter.
Unbelievable. Well, that's unbelievable that he went for that. When they used the ult, stopping the wall from going up, which stopped Kesnet from getting support. Then they put their own orb up, allowing Kesnet to run back, and as he attempted to, Saigetsu sprayed 2 down through the smoke.
One enemy
it's absurd. Absolutely absurd. This round goes to FPX, and the amount of rounds that have come from the likes of Angel spraying a smoke and taking 2, Sagetsu spraying a smoke and taking 2, and it's another spot where KRU, again, just called a timeout. You take a minute, you're like, guys, let's figure out what we're gonna do. Let's get our plan straight, let's...
So it was Nag spamming, and he actually gets Klaus killed. I bet there was a death stare across the stage of like, really?
You know, the best part is that Angel, like, because my immediate criticism is, well, bro, you did spam it with a Vandal. Angel did it earlier, and he was just killing everything. Yeah. No one got him back. It's not fair.
He did get wrecked by a gap in the wall, though, so, you know.
He did. He got his comeuppance there.
Oh, a little bit close, and actually, he's going to pop the Viper's Pit.
Run!
This might be gone instantly, but no. Showstopper gets nothing. Xiao has now found a kill onto Delzik. That's going to be the smoke's gone, but Mazzino just about gets away with it. This is so scrappy. This is almost looking like a DM session at this point with just FPX pushing through that TP. They've left Artist behind, though.
He's inside the orb. He has a flash to play with, but now the Viper's Pit's gone up. He's going to try to sneak up close. Klaus was ready, and he was already decayed so much from walking through that orb. Made it so easy. Now the spike is on its way, and it should be planted easily.
Yeah, Wall giving them the cover. Rotation coming around from Saigetsu, though. A long one at that. I feel like it's being watched, though, or at least it was for a second. Kesnet back in the corner. I don't know if he's necessarily going to check for this. This might be a way back into the round. He's actually going to jump out to check. He's now just tagged, but Saigetsu's so low. Goes down to a blast pack. It's unfortunate, and that is the round in itself. Zipan now left to try and 1v4. He has a showstopper of his own, but playing into the Viper's Pit, I don't think he's going to do this.
No, there's no way. No, he's out of there. 10-8. Looks like he'll try to take the TP out. Maybe make it a bit more costly. There you go. Lovely. Another kill to add to the tally. He's going to bail his way out to the TP. They're waiting outside. I don't imagine he'd do what he just did. So who knows how this one's going to play out. Looks like he's getting away with it. Wallbang attempt. Oh, and he stepped into the spray as well.
The thing is, Kesnet couldn't really do too much there because he was so desperately low on HP that if he spams that anymore, it is a little bit close. Like, Artist almost managed to get the timing there, but the headshot through him. Well, Kesnet, I'm sure he's having a bit of a giggle about that one. Nonetheless, it is only one round the distance now. The thing is, though, every single time we've seen KRU break back, they've just been destroyed.
I see a lot of players outside B, and I see Zipan ult ready to go. Inside of Hookah. Smoke deep. Trying to get the orb early. Crossed over one. Prowler's being spammed at. Dog's on its way. It's destroyed. I don't know that looked left. I didn't see it turn. They might now think that there's only one here. Xiao has held this alone many times before. There's no reason to suspect that there's another player in that corner. Maybe the smokes will be the deciding factor on that.
They're still going to know that someone's behind the smoke. And actually, they have cleared that angle. They've used an orbital strike to force Angel into the open. Zipan trying to fight this one. It's not looking like the prettiest of battles, but he does have support. And in fact, he's going to go in with a showstopper, trying to find the kill, but Mazzino full sprinting. W Gaming has joined the server. And now Xiao left with everything to do, but he is doing an incredible job until Kesnet comes in from behind.
I'll say ambitious. As soon as that wall goes up, he decides to just dive in, but it works out. The frag is connected, and so too is the round, tied up yet again. The attack side for KRU starting to really heat up, and we've even seen that ult that we started the round by highlighting, it didn't find the value. FPX going back to the drawing board one last time in regulation.
I will say, Mazzino, like, I love Mazzino's decision-making in comparison to everyone else in that scenario.
Sure.
It's like, okay, he's just popped the showstopper. I'm going to sprint across full spray and just hope that he doesn't kill me. And I would love to see what Zipan's face was like at that moment. I'm just imagining, like, the shocked Pikachu. Just like, you can't. That's not the choice you should have made.
I think he realized as well, like, especially if he had a second blast pack, it was a choice between either running to long and getting probably killed by the rocket as he makes it around the corner, or just standing close, waiting for him to get there.
That's the thing. He was probably hoping, like, I shoot him, I died to the showstopper, and instead he just killed him.
Just one-shot him on the run around. 15 seconds, and then those coaches are going to be muted until we hit overtime or a winner is decided here on Bind. Can't lose a round. At this point, the economies, they could shake it up, could lead your opponent to streak it through 12-10, guarantee their overtime, and put you on the back foot. And for KRU, that's the last thing they want. They need this map, and they need the next. The pressure certainly going to be felt more by them than by FPX in this moment.
Yeah, even still, though, I feel like maybe feeling a little bit hard done by that they didn't manage to do more when it comes to the previous map, but also I think this map pool is fairly comfortable for both teams. They've been happy to play Ascent, especially within their region. It's been some close matches, but I do think that if KRU take this one, there is a real chance that they could pull off one of the bigger upsets of this tournament so far.
It's definitely their best chance. 120 on the clock, very early stage of the round, but we're already seeing quite a bit of space attempted to be taken by KRU. It's forcing utility out of FPX. The boom bot that came through countered out by a snake bite, stopping any sort of aggression, and actually stopping KRU's idea of even pressuring the B site. They think they've done enough. They're starting to move back to A. This wall's been down in a bunch of rounds, so they can pop it up without maybe causing too much suspicion. It's when they get spotted by Xiao, things become a little bit risky.
Well, Xiao has got that info. Molotov gonna force them to actually swing a little wider here, but it doesn't really matter too much. You're gonna see that counter utility being thrown out, but even still, it looks like the plant. No, it's not gonna go down. He catches him with the blast pack just seconds before.
That's perfect. Up on top of the wall here. Max has a chance. Another blast pack to push them off, but ultimately it's only running the clock down by a few seconds. Not enough, but Zipan's caught him. It kept him there. Through the smoke. How many of these kills will be? They know that Nags can get on top of that wall. They're fully aware, but the flash that's about to come through might catch them off guard. Nags is taken down, so evidently it did not. And now an ultimate through, clearing out middle, seeing there's practically no one there unless they're very far away. Time might become an issue here. The barrel spotted, another frag, and now the orb has to be pushed on if they're to have any chance of denying this. They need to tap it right here and now. The nade will come through. And on the back of that, Sagetsu is going to try to destroy them, try to bait them as they come back on into this angle. And now he's around the left. It's beautiful for Sagetsu. An 11th found for FPX. A second or two in it. But the lead is now found by EMEA and KRU. Well, they have enough money to buy on most players, on everyone in fact. They're comfy enough there, but this is their last chance.
It was a nice attempt at the alpha one. The only thing was, I think maybe that nade was just almost panic thrown a little bit. Just a tad early with the Molotov already down. It's understandable in those sort of moments, but I think it was, what, a second and a half is the difference? Yep. Maybe that could have changed it, but a nice attempt from KRU. As you said, still going to have a purchase here. Both sides, though, wow, there's still some credits left, available at least onto Zipan. But other than that, fairly low for FPX as well.
You can see the FPX are well aware of that utility coming down inside of a bath. They wait out the snake bite and the slow before going for the challenge. It just delays them in getting the orb. And that means, if they were to go for any aggression, delays them in terms of taking any of those rotations and those early pieces of information. Now, I'll look to punish elsewhere by taking some space of their own. They've not seen anybody push out on B long, no attempt to take the orb or anything like that. So they'll reset to Hookah. No utility's gone through just yet. A blast pack swing gets the trade, though.
Even still, Kesnet being lost early. Not ideal. And with a minute left, or less than a minute, on the clock, they don't really have much ground. Hookah is the only position where they've managed to take any control. FPX, though, almost, I guess, guessing that this was going to be an A play, rotating there early and leaving Ardis on his own. He hasn't had the greatest of games today, but whether he can do anything more, and now they are again going to rotate this player back just in time.
They've spotted them. Nade is still in play for Zipan. He's going to fire it through. You've got a reveal coming in as well. So nobody's pushed up past the point. They know that now. 20 seconds on the clock, and these players have to go for it. A C's thrown in. A push. Angel's ready! What a flick from this man! And two found! 10 seconds! They have to plant now, and they've got it just about the wall, providing the cover, allowing them to now reset into the post plan. But a man disadvantage. Someone needs to find a kill, recover this somewhat. For now, they see nothing. Fill up the space that 0 point has just left. The Prowler, though, the utility still in play. A blast pack to push him back for just a moment. And here's the swing, the pre-fire, and the kill, leaving it just down to Delzik. He's had a tough game, and it has to be here that he makes a stand. But Xiao doubles up again. 12 on the board. FPX, match and series point.
Yeah, we can talk about that 1-2 punch of Xiao and Zipan all day long, but it's that double kill that comes through from Angel that makes all the difference. Maybe the shakiest game I think I've ever seen, just snapping back to those heads, and while just solid trading from that point onwards. And a nice attempt. The thing is, you needed, again, someone like Mazzino to get that double kill. And over the last couple of rounds, I feel like they just haven't allowed him to. Now, looking at the purchase for KRU, you're coming in with rifles, at least, on the majority of players, and I will say Delzik has been very quiet down the bottom of the board, so him having a Spectre might not be that much of a detriment.
Well, the judge in play as well for Sugetsu. He's one away from his ultimate, as is his teammate Angel. Angel not looking for the orb, it seems. He's making his way forward. I thought he was going all the way, but he'll fall back. He'll make his way back to the site. That step, that jump, I think it would have been heard just about.
One side cleared, the other is where the judge sits, so got to be a little bit careful for that one. Again, a fairly passive hold from KRU early. We've seen these aggressive plays moving out. They've got the lurk on the side of Nags. Just going to be throwing out the nade already, though. It's going to be the spam through the wall that gets the second kill. A huge advantage here for FPX once again. And while there needs to be a hero on the KRU side.
Oh, the timing. Angel was caught watching two different angles, but he peeked out just in time to see this Sage in the form of Nags make his way out. They know that he's on his way. The boombot's coming through. It's not really going to do anything. It actually does get one of them to shoot it, though, as they make their way towards the side. Oh, caught with his utility. He was still taking his weapon back out. Blast back through, swing on the back. Zip bands for 3 and a nade. Oh, it's seeking him out. It's on top of him. And the round is done, as is the game. FPX take this one convincingly 2-0.